How do you make one little joke and suddenly your entire life implodes? That's basically what happened to me. I'm Lexi, 31, and until last Saturday night, I thought I had everything figured out. My husband, Julian, and I have been married for 4 years, and honestly, things were pretty great. We have this gorgeous 3 bedroom house that we bought 2 years ago, a solid group of friends, and Julian just got this big promotion that's going to change everything for us. Our friend group is tight, 6 couples who've known each other since college. We do these monthly dinner parties that rotate houses, and it was finally our turn to host. I was actually excited to show off our place since we just had the kitchen redone. Julian thought it was too expensive, but I convinced him it would increase our property value. Men just don't understand these things sometimes. Julian's promotion is at his office job. Nothing fancy, but it comes with a serious pay bump. The only downside is he'll be traveling like 2 weeks out of every month. When he first told me, I acted all supportive, like, that's amazing, babe. I'm so proud of you. But between us, I was thinking about all those nights I'd be stuck at home alone while he's staying in nice hotels. I mean, I'm happy about the money. Obviously, we can finally afford that vacation to Greece I've been wanting to take. And maybe I can update our bathroom next. But the travel thing, not thrilled. My friend Cassidy is the only one who really gets me. We tell each other everything, and I mean everything. She knows exactly how big Julian is, his weird little noises, that thing he likes me to do in bed, all of it. Julian has no idea I tell her this stuff, and honestly, it would probably crush him if he knew. He's kind of sensitive that way. But that's what best friends are for, right? To share all the juicy details with Julian. And I have this dynamic in the bedroom. He likes when I take charge, and sometimes I'll tease him a little about certain things. He's into it, I swear. And sometimes when I'm with Cassidy, I'll joke about it too. It's harmless girl talk. Looking back, maybe I should have noticed how Julian always seems to overcompensate around our friends. He's so eager to be the perfect host, always cooking these elaborate meals that I end up taking credit for. Oh, it was nothing, just something I threw together. When we're alone, I'll point out if he messes up the recipe, but in front of our friends, I act like he's the luckiest guy alive to have me, and he plays along, so clearly he's fine with it. The night of the dinner party, I was so excited to finally show off the new kitchen. Julian spent all day cooking while I handled the atmosphere. Flowers, candles, the playlist. I wanted everything to be perfect because honestly, I've been dying to make Krista and Dave jealous since they hosted last month. And Krista wouldn't shut up about their new pool. Everyone arrived around 7, and Julian was being his usual charming self, pouring drinks and making sure everyone was comfortable. I was watching him from across the room, thinking about how he's actually pretty good at this stuff. Not that I'd tell him that. His ego is big enough already about some things, though. Definitely not about others, if you know what I mean. I remember looking at him serving drinks, thinking how he had no idea what was coming later. After everyone left, I was planning to remind him about our arrangement while he was away traveling. 2 weeks is a long time, and a girl has needs. And Julian always gets this cute little pouty look when I remind him he's not exactly packing enough to keep me satisfied when he's gone. It's our thing. So everything was going great. The food was amazing. Everyone was drinking and we were all laughing and having a good time. Julian was talking about his promotion and I was nodding along like the supportive wife I am. On the outside, I was all smiles and we're so blessed. But inside, I was already mentally spending his bonus check on those designer boots I've had my eye on. When he mentioned the travel, everyone got all concerned, asking how we'd handle being apart so much. That's when Dave made some comment about how absence makes the heart grow fonder, and everyone laughed. Julian just smiled, that tight little smile he gets when he's uncomfortable, and excused himself to grab more wine from the garage. As soon as he was gone, the real conversation started. That's the thing about our dinners. The good stuff always happens when someone steps away. And that's exactly when everything fell apart, though I had no idea what was coming. If I had, maybe I would have kept my mouth shut for once, but I didn't. And now Julian won't even take my calls. So there we were, all cozy in our living room after dinner. Everyone was pretty tipsy by that point. Julian had splurged on some expensive wine that I'd told everyone I'd picked out. We just cleared the dishes, and we were all sprawled across our sectional and armchairs talking about Julian's new job. Krista kept going on about how excited she was for us, and I was nodding along while secretly thinking about how fake she was being. Last month, she was bragging about Dave's bonus, and now suddenly she's thrilled about Julian's promotion. Please. So, how are you going to handle him being gone so much? Pamela asked me, swirling her wine like she was some kind of relationship expert. She and Mark have this whole situation where he travels for work too, so suddenly she thinks she's qualified to give me advice. Oh, we'll figure it out, I said, keeping it vague because honestly, who cares what Pamela thinks? Then Heidi, who can never read the room, chimes in with, "You should order some toys that are the same size as him so he can still have fun while he's gone." Everyone giggled, and I saw my chance to get a laugh. I rolled my eyes dramatically and said, "I don't think they make them that tiny." I expected everyone to laugh. That's our dynamic. I tease, people laugh. Julian pretends to be embarrassed, but secretly loves the attention. Except this time, nobody laughed. Everyone just stopped, like full on silence. Dave choked on his drink, and Mark suddenly became very interested in his phone. That's when I noticed Julian standing in the doorway with the wine bottle he'd gone to get. The look on his face, I've never seen him look like that before. It wasn't anger, it was worse. It was like something inside him just shut off. He set the wine bottle down on the side table very carefully, like he was afraid he might break it. Then he just turned around and walked out. A minute later, I heard his car start up in the garage. Did he just leave? Heidi asked, stating the obvious. I laughed nervously. He's being dramatic. He'll drive around the block and come back. But even as I said it, I had this weird feeling in my stomach. Everyone was staring at me like I'd just kicked a puppy. What? I snapped. It was a joke. We joke about that stuff all the time, out in front of all your friends. You don't? Dave muttered, and Krista elbowed him. I'm sure he'll be back soon, Cassidy said. But she wouldn't look me in the eye, which was rich coming from her, considering all the stuff I'd listened to about her and Tim. The party fell apart after that. Everyone suddenly had early mornings or babysitters to get back to. Within 30 minutes, our house was empty except for me and the mess from dinner. I texted Julianne way to embarrass me in front of everyone. When are you coming home? No response. I called straight to voicemail. By midnight, I was furious. Who does he think he is, storming out like that? It was a joke, one joke. If he can't handle a little teasing, that's his problem. I called Cassidy, expecting her to be on my side. You went too far this time, Lex, she said instead. Excuse me? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It was a joke. You humiliated him in front of all your friends about something really personal. Oh, please. Like you've never talked about Tim's. That's between us, Lexi. I would never say something like that in front of everyone we know. I hung up on her, some friend she turned out to be. By morning, Julian still wasn't home. No calls, no texts, nothing. I was moving between worry and anger. Where was he staying? Who was he talking to? Was he telling people I was some kind of terrible wife over one stupid comment? I was about to find out just how bad things could get from one little joke. 3 days! That's how long it took before I finally heard from Julian. 3 days of increasingly angry texts and voicemails from me and nothing but silence from him. I'd called in sick to work because I look like hell from not sleeping. My mind kept replaying that moment at the party, but I still couldn't understand why everyone was making such a big deal out of it. On the third day, he finally texted, I'm coming by to get some clothes while you're at work tomorrow. That's it. No, I'm sorry for overreacting or let's talk this out. just letting me know he was planning to sneak into our house while I was gone. I responded immediately. Where have you been? We need to talk about this. Nothing for hours then. I'm staying at the Marriott downtown. I don't want to talk right now. A hotel? He wasn't even staying with a friend. He was wasting our money on a hotel room because his feelings got hurt over a joke. I decided to call Cassidy again, thinking she'd had time to come to her senses. Have you talked to him? I asked when she picked up. Her hesitation told me everything. Yes. And what did he say? He's really hurt, Lexi. He said, this isn't the first time you've made comments like that in front of people. That's ridiculous. It was one joke. Another pause. Was it though? What about at New Year's when you told everyone he couldn't handle more than 2 drinks because he's built like a middle schooler? Or when you told Heidi he needed help opening jars? I couldn't believe she was bringing that up. Those were just jokes. Everyone jokes about their husband. Tim must do annoying things too. Yeah, and we talk about it privately. I don't announce his insecurities to all our friends. Felt a flicker of doubt. Were my jokes really that bad? No, everyone was just being oversensitive, whatever. I don't need this from you, too. I thought you were my friend. I am your friend. That's why I'm being honest with you. I hung up again. Some people just can't handle honesty. I've always been the type to say what everyone else is thinking, and if that makes me the bad guy, so be it. The next day, I decided not to go to work. If Julian wanted to come get his stuff, he'd have to face me. I waited all morning, rehearsing what I'd say. I'd be calm but firm. I'd explain that his reaction was totally out of proportion, but I'd forgive him if he apologized. When he finally showed up, looking tired and distant, I realized I'd never seen him like this before. It was like looking at a stranger wearing my husband's face. We need to talk, I said, blocking the hallway to our bedroom. There's nothing to talk about, to add quietly. Nothing to talk. He disappeared for 3 days over a joke. He just looked at me, and for the first time, I felt a chill. It wasn't a joke, Lexi. It was public humiliation. And it wasn't the first time. Oh, come on. Don't be so sensitive. Stop. His voice was so firm, it actually shocked me into silence. I came to get my things. I'm staying at the hotel until I find an apartment. That's when I realized he was serious. An apartment? You're leaving over this. He took a deep breath. I'm leaving because I finally realized something. You don't respect me. You never have. That's not fair. Just because I tease you sometimes. It's not teasing when you're trying to humiliate me. And it's not just that comment. It's everything. The way you talk about me to your friends, the way you dismiss my feelings, the way you take credit for things I do. I felt my face getting hot. What are you talking about? Who's been filling your head with this stuff? That's when he pulled out his phone and showed me the texts. Dozens of them between me and Cassidy going back months. Screenshots that she had sent him. These, he said quietly, this is what I'm talking about. There they were. All my private conversations with Cassidy about Julian, the jokes about his size, his performance, his insecurities, things I'd said in confidence to my best friend. She showed you our private conversations? I was livid. What kind of friend is that? The kind who finally realized how toxic you are? I felt like I'd been slapped. Me? Toxic? I'm your wife. Not for much longer, he said, and walked past me to the bedroom. I followed him, watching as he methodically packed a suitcase with clothes and toiletries. You can't be serious. You're throwing away our marriage over some texts and one comment? He stopped and looked at me. Do you even hear yourself? You're still not getting it. You betrayed my trust in the most humiliating way possible, and you've been doing it for years. I just didn't see it until now. So this is Cassid's fault. She betrayed me. Julian zipped up his suitcase. No, Lexi, this is your fault. And the fact that you still can't see that is exactly why I'm leaving. As he walked out the door, I shouted after him, You'll be back! Where are you? This is your home. He paused at the door, not turning around. Not anymore. And just like that, he was gone again. I stood in our suddenly empty house, furious at him, at Cassidy, at everyone. How dare they make me the villain? I was just being honest, something most people are too cowardly to be. I had no idea then how much worse things were about to get. Word travels fast in a friend group. By the end of the week, everyone knew Julian and I were taking a break, as I was calling it. I tried to control the narrative, telling people he was being oversensitive about a harmless joke, but I could tell from their responses that they'd already heard his side. I posted on Facebook. Sometimes the person you thought would be there forever turns out to be the one who walks away when things get tough. Standing strong, I expected an outpouring of support. Instead, the post got 3 likes, all from acquaintances who had no idea what was going on. None of our close friends engaged with it at all. So I called Heidi, thinking she'd be more sympathetic since she was the one who started the whole toy conversation. I just don't get why everyone's acting like I committed some crime, I said after explaining the situation. Lexi, she sounded uncomfortable. What you said was pretty bad. It was a joke. Would you have found it funny if Julian had made a joke about your body in front of everyone? She asked. I rolled my eyes. It's completely different. Is it? Yes, guys are supposed to be able to take a joke. I think the issue is that it wasn't really a joke. It was mean. I couldn't believe it. Even Heidi was against me. Fine, whatever. I have to go. I hung up and threw my phone across the couch. The next day, I decided to go back to work. I needed something normal, and my job at the marketing firm was usually my safe space. But as soon as I walked in, I could tell something was off. Conversation stopped when I approached. People were overly polite but distant. Then I saw Cassidy in the break room and understood. We worked at the same company in different departments. She must have been telling people her version of events. I cornered her by the coffee machine. Having fun ruining my life, I hissed. She looked startled. What are you talking about? Don't play dumb. First you betrayed me to Julian, and now you're turning everyone at work against me. She lowered her voice. I haven't told anyone anything, and I didn't betray you. I did what a real friend should have done a long time ago by showing my private messages to my husband. Messages where you constantly degraded and humiliated him. Yes. I felt tears of frustration building. I thought we were friends. So did I, she said quietly, until I realized how you really treat people. As she walked away, I heard someone behind me say, "Yikes." I turned to see 2 coworkers quickly look away and leave the break room. Great. Now I was office gossip too. When I got home that night, there was an email from Julian with the subject line, "Divorce." Just like that. Not even a conversation, just straight to lawyers. The email was formal and cold, explaining that his attorney would be in touch and listing the items from the house he wanted. That's when it finally hit me. This was really happening. My husband was actually leaving me over one stupid comment. I tried calling him again, but it went straight to voicemail. So I sent a text. Don't you think we should at least talk before involving lawyers? His response came an hour later. We have nothing to talk about. You've shown me who you really are. And what's that supposed to mean? I fired back. Someone who doesn't respect me, who never has. Someone who uses people's insecurities against them and thinks it's funny. I deserve better. He deserves better. After everything I've done for him, I was livid. This is about Cassidy, isn't it? She turned you against me. This is about you, Lexi. It's always been about you. I just couldn't see it until now. I threw my phone again, harder this time. The screen cracked, just like my life was cracking apart. And still, I couldn't understand why everyone was blaming me. 2 months later, and my life has completely fallen apart. The divorce is moving forward, and Julian still refuses to meet with me without lawyers present. I had to move out of our house because I couldn't afford the mortgage on my own. Turns out Julian was paying a lot more than I realized. My cute little apartment in Houston is nothing compared to the home we built together. The friend group has completely fractured. Most of them still see Julian regularly, while I get the occasional pity coffee date where no one mentions him. I know they talk about me when I'm not around. I can feel it in the awkward pauses, the careful avoidance of certain topic. Work isn't any better. Cassidy got promoted last month, a position I was also up for. Everyone congratulated her while giving me those sad sideways glances. I heard through office gossip that Julian is thriving at his new job. The travel that I've been so annoyed about has apparently turned into some big career opportunity for him. And last week, the final blow, Ava accidentally included me on a group text about a dinner party. Julian was bringing someone named Mia. A quick social media search showed me exactly who Mia is. Pretty successful, and worst of all, genuinely nice based on the comments on her posts. She looks at Julian in those photos like he's the most amazing man in the world, like she actually respects him. I tried to talk to my mom about it, thinking she at least would be on my side. Instead, she asked me something that's been echoing in my head ever since. Honey, do you ever think maybe you were wrong? Wrong? All I did was make a joke. Everyone else overreacted. Julian could have talked to me instead of running away. Cassidy could have been loyal instead of backstabbing me. Our friends could have supported me instead of taking his side. Sure, maybe I shouldn't have said that specific thing in front of everyone. I can admit that. But to blow up our entire marriage over it, to destroy my friendships, my reputation, my life. Last night, I saw on Instagram that Julian got another promotion. There he was, smiling broadly with his arm around Mia. Blessed. The comments were full of congratulations, including several from our mutual friends, the same friends who now barely return my texts. I scrolled through old photos of us on my phone back when things were good, or when I thought they were good. Anyway, was it really all my fault? Everyone seems to think so. Everyone except me. Sometimes, late at night, I wonder if maybe they're right. Maybe I did take Julian for granted. Maybe I did say things I shouldn't have. Maybe I didn't realize what I had until it was gone. But then I think about how easily he walked away, how quickly everyone turned against me, whip out, and I get angry all over again. So here I am alone in my apartment, scrolling through social media and watching my old life continue without me. Julian's happy. Our friends are happy. Even Cass is happy. Everyone's happy except me. And for what? One little joke that went too far? It's not fair. It's just not fair. But deep down, in a place I don't like to acknowledge, there's a whisper I can't quite silence. Maybe it is fair. Maybe this is exactly what I deserve. Not that I'd ever admit that to anyone, not even myself.